I have us making some buttermilk pancakes, and I have a few options for fillings. I got some sprinkles, so we can make some funfetti ones. We can make chocolate chip. I have a banana that are just ripe right now, so we can add one of those. We can just mix it up, all right? Let's get started. So everybody get a big bowl, and I'll show you what to do. Just a medium-sized bowl is fine. We're going to use 6 tablespoons of butter, but I have to melt this on the stove. I'm just going to put it in my little pan between low and medium heat, and then I'm going to continue to use to get the rest of my ingredients as this is melting. Alrighty? Alright, so you can keep an eye on that as we are cooking. If you guys want to microwave it, you can totally do that. That is melting. And our next step is to mix together some of our dry ingredients. I'll show you guys how to measure stuff correctly. We are going to use 2 1/4 cup of flour. The correct way to measure dry ingredients, you're going to scoop it. See how it's overflowing like that? And now you're going to scrape it. So we need 2 of these. So we get 1. Let's go into my bowl over here. And let's do that again. 2. I'm going to move this cup because I don't need it anymore, but I still need a 1/4 cup. So altogether, there's 2 1/4 cup of flour. All right, so now we're done with the flour. The next thing we need is 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. I only had a bag of sugar. I didn't have a fancy container like that. I didn't want to make a ton of noise. So here's our 1/3 cup of sugar. Plain sugar is good. The next thing we need is baking powder and baking soda. They're leavening agents just like yeast would be. They're going to make our pancakes nice and fluffy. So we need 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. What's nice about these containers is we can level it off just like we did the flour. That's why this is here. So that way you scoop it in, you dig it, and then flatten it just like that. 1 teaspoon, now I need a 1/4. Next is my baking soda. I need 1/2 teaspoon. Beautiful. Again, this box has a nice little flat thing. This is supposed to help you. And the last thing we need is salt. So we need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's all of our dry ingredients. All right, I'm going to check my butter over here. I'll just carry this over, see what we're working with. Okay, almost. Now they want you to melt the butter and kind of cool it a little bit, so then that way when we add the eggs, it's not going to cook our eggs. So there's 2 1/4 cup of flour. We have 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now this is bubbling. I could hear it. So that's getting shut off. Now would be a good time too if you guys have a griddle pan to get that out. Oh, I'm just going to use my big non-stick pan. That way I could probably cook a few at a time. We're going to whisk together eggs, buttermilk, vanilla extract, and our melted butter. Now, fun tip. So you guys could use whatever milk you want, right? If you guys have regular plain milk, that's fine. We're in quarantine, you know what I'm saying? So we might have like a ton of almond milk. Like I bought 3 of my favorite almond milks. You could totally use that. If you guys have regular milk, you could use that. If you want to make buttermilk, there's an easy way to do that. Now, all we're going to do per cup of milk is add in 1 tablespoon of either lemon juice or white vinegar, all right? Once you let that sit and chill, it's going to kind of get all like funky, and it automatically turns into buttermilk, all right? It ferments the milk for us. Just plain white vinegar. Don't add red vinegar or anything funky, okay? White plain vinegar or lemon juice. Okay. So we're going to measure this. Now when you measure, you got to put it down on a flat surface and look at it at eye level to make sure that it is an accurate measurement. If I'm pouring it from up here, it's not going to look that even. Okay, I gotta look at it at the side and see what we're working with. Okay, 1 cup. All right, I got 2 cups. And now I'm gonna measure out my 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. This is gonna make like 12 pancakes, so I hope you're hungry. All right, go easy. So if you guys are doing this at home, pour it over the sink. All right, you don't want extra vinegar in this. So let's pour. We don't want to taste the vinegar. We just want to like curdle the milk a little bit. Now, is it like a total substitute? I don't think so. But it works. It gets the job done in our quarantine situation. Checking out, we got 2 cups. Then you got your 2 tablespoons. If you guys have your buttermilk, you could use that. If you just have regular milk and you don't want to use the make a buttermilk, that's fine too. This is our science of the day, everyone. Ooh. So, it's gonna get a little funky. Let's put this to the side. Here is our eggs. 2 ways to crack an egg. So I tell my kids in school. Always do it in a separate bowl. Don't just crack it right in your container, all right? If you have any eggshells, you're never gonna find them, and they're never going to break down, all right? They're always gonna be hard as a bone. It's a shell, all right? So this way, if you do it in a separate bowl, especially with kids, you can pick out all of your shells, all right? So 2 ways. You can either use the side of a bowl. Some people get really nervous with that because they can't see what they're doing. If you guys want to see what you're doing, you can use the back of a butter knife. I just use this to scrape our flour. So a clean butter knife and lightly tap until you like hear it crack, all right? Once you hear it crack, you're gonna open it towards you. So stick your thumbs in there and open it towards you. Ta-da! Ooh. All right, so we got 1 egg. It's a beautiful thing. Now for the other egg, you could have 2 options. You could do it the same way. You could crack it on the side of a bowl, or you can just tap it on your countertop. I don't know why, but over the years, I just started cracking it on the countertop. It's like a lot easier for me. So that way you can hear it. It's starting to crack, and you just break it the same way. Beautiful. Buttermilk is still, ooh, it's getting like, you guys see the chunks in there at all? Well, it's getting pretty funky. So we're gonna let that hang. I don't know if you guys can see it as it turns, but it's definitely coagulating. Next, we're gonna use vanilla extract. Now, if you guys wanna make these like, you know, shamrocky and you wanted to like dye them green and add some peppermint, you could do that, all right? I'm not like a huge fan of almond extract, so I'm just gonna use vanilla, all right? 2 teaspoons of vanilla is good. You can always taste the 1 pancake when it's done, and if you don't like it, then you could always add more. So don't go too crazy. Again, if you have kids, I would pour this over like a clean bowl. Vanilla is super expensive. I'm gonna go very slow. So I'm gonna pour that right in my egg. 1, 2. We got our 2 cups of milk that we made into buttermilk by using 2 tablespoons of vinegar. You got 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then we have our butter hanging out on the stove still. So combine all of those things. Our milk is definitely chunky. I don't know how I can show you this. Let's see. If I stick my like measuring spoon in there, you see it's, there's our homemade buttermilk. I'm pouring in my eggs and vanilla. Done. Next, I got my melted butter. Now, all of these little pieces and all of that white stuff, that's all the good butter flavor, all right? So don't just pour this out and then don't scrape it, all right? Scrape all of these goodies out. So if this is like super duper scorching hot, you're gonna cook your eggs. Don't cook your eggs. Just put this in the sink because you got all of this butter hanging out, going all over the side here. You don't want that. You don't want to put it back on your stove and then like cause a fire. All right, so mix that till everything is, you know, all one. And from right here, I'm gonna warm up my pan over like medium heat, okay? I'm gonna do 2 ways. I got some spray, I have coconut oil spray, and then I have some butter, all right? We're gonna pour the wet into the dry. And you guys can still use that same scraper. Batter should be thick. There's gonna be some lumps. If you guys are making all the same pancakes, right now you guys could add in like the sprinkles if you wanted. They say to add 2/3 cup of sprinkles. It's totally up to you. Let me turn my pan on. I always like to add the filling or like whatever I'm going to put in there. I like to put it in when it's in the actual pan because I feel like if I was to add chocolate chips right now, they would all sink to the bottom. So sprinkles, they're like super lightweight, so they're probably going to stay in there, but I don't know. So let's move over to the stove now. Let's start with some butter. Put it right in there. All right, so we'll squish that all around. If you guys are using cooking spray, just spray away, all right? And I'm gonna start with my 1/2 cup. If you guys want to throw it all in your liquid measuring cup, you could do that too and just pour it in. I'm just trying to do like less mess. The only thing I would recommend is when you're done with this, you're gonna put it down on your countertop. So you might wanna get like a paper towel, or I'm gonna get like a mini, I'm gonna get a plate. If you find that your heat is too high, just turn it down. This is good, my butter's melted, hanging out. Now I'm gonna start with my pancakes. I'm going to fill up my 1/2 cup almost all the way, scrape the bottom, and then place it in the pan. Now they're going to spread as you pour them. All right, so that's a good size. Let's do the fillings. All right, I'm going to start with sprinkles, just because they're right here. Okay, adding some color into our quarantine. Like what I see. Look until the edges look a little dry, and then there's going to be some holes happening. All right, that's when we're going to know how to flip. That means they're just starting to set. So we're going to cook one side, then we're going to flip it, and then we're going to put them on a plate. So far, so good. Let's zoom in here. Okay, I like what I see here. Get out your spatula. It's bubbling. See right here? Boop. This one's gonna pop in a sec. That's good. It's a good sign. It's a good sign of a fluffy pancake. So I just like to scope out the scene and kind of check out the bottom, making sure it might look good from the top and do exactly what we want it to do with these bubbles. But I just want to make sure that I'm not going to burn them. A good feeling about this pancake. I'm going to kind of like get down in there. So it has those little holes, and I'm just going to scope out the scene on the other side. Now you could always flip it twice too. This is what you want. See those little holes? Looking good. Now, if you guys find that you need any more butter as you're cooking it, use your best judgment. Looking good. And now we kind of scope out the scene again. Cook it for a little bit. Now this side has our sprinkles, all right? So the sprinkles, the sugars are starting to like cook a little bit. So it looks like a nice unicorn little pancake. That's what we're looking for though. Oh. Okay. I love these, yay. Cool, right? So there's our beautiful, beautiful pancakes. Let's make 2 more. I'm gonna turn my heat down because that thing is smoking. New spray. That's coconut oil. And as much as the recipes like want you to have the batter sit a little bit, at this point it's already sat for like 10 minutes because we've been busy cooking our pancakes. So scrape it. Okay. Chocolate chip. You want to make a little decoration, you want to count at this point, you can incorporate your little math here. If you want to do a combo, really get, you know, the kids going for the day to have chocolate chips and sprinkles, totally up to you. You have white chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips, flavored ones. I had a whole bunch to choose from. I just chose the bag that was open. So remember, I added the cooking spray. What I would do though is once these are cooking and hanging out on this side, I would spray it again when we flip it. So I'm gonna get those little bubbles. These little pieces we can just get rid of. Okay. I don't know if I like the cooking spray as much. You're gonna see why in a second. I feel like it's like cooking them pretty good. But we'll work with it. Okay. If you know you're doing all sprinkles, just throw all the sprinkles in your dough. All right, but they don't take long once you cook the other side. Here's our chocolate chip looking ones. Let's see, not done yet. Chocolate chip numero uno. Number 2. Ooh. Here's our wonderful, wonderful pancakes. So yeah, now you guys have had a nice cooking lesson by Meg. I always think of like Elf when he like pours the maple syrup all over the spaghetti. All right, let's try them out. Let's see. Let me know which ones you guys like better. All right, I'm gonna go with the chocolate chip first, and then I'm gonna try the funfetti one. I mean, it's a very good pancake. It's good, it's basic. You guys should have all those ingredients in your quarantine, you know, storage cabinet. Here's the funfetti. I mean, they're both good. I think chocolate chip always wins, but funfetti is just really cute to look at. Well, thanks for, you know, dropping by. Let me know if you guys want to have another cooking lesson and what you guys want to learn. All right, well, I'm going to go teach a class now online. So, see you guys soon.